Well, let's get started. 2024 is halfway over. Isn't that crazy? It took a blink of an eye to get to 6 months into the new year. And now the new year is half empty. Or you could say it's half full, depending on what's coming. You already know what it is. The Zo What Morning Show is a current event show where we talk about what's cracking in the world. I want to welcome everybody in. Jump in here. Let us know in the comments where you're chiming in from, what city, what state, the whole 9 yards. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. As you already know, by hitting the like button. What up, Don Philly the Bull? What up, Dustin Turner, Jay Jimerson, Nazarene X? By hitting the like button and the share button, you already know you get us into the algorithm on YouTube, and then they start promoting and sharing us in other ways. I hope everybody is good. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did as well. As you know, what is common practice here, we like to promote Black-owned businesses. Let me do this. All the orders for He Is Risen for last week will go out this Wednesday. Got that together, packaged up. There's still a few people who keep saying they didn't get their package. Now, I can't send it out 5 times. At some point, I'm just going to issue a refund, because if I send it to you 3 or 4 times and you don't get it 3 or 4 times, that's just either the address is bad, the post office is in on it, or you're getting it and you're just saying you're not. And I don't mean to insinuate that is actually happening, but I'm getting some return people keep saying they didn't get their package, and I know for sure that I sent it out. All right, everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Black-owned businesses, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. You already know what it is, Russell Herbals. I was with Russell Harrison this past weekend, and Russell is doing the damn thing. You understand? Russell is doing the damn thing. You already know, springtime, summertime, typically springtime, you definitely want to get in your detox. And Russ is doing a whole discounted, special on his website. Please go to his website, russellherbals.com. All right? russellherbals.com. Please go to russellherbals.com. My man is 70. I think Russell Herbals is 77. He was supposed to be here today, but again, he's so busy with so many clients. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you guys in on what he's doing. But yeah, he's got so many clients, so tapped in, he couldn't make it today. But he said he'll be back up here soon. You definitely want to go to his website, russellherbals.com, and get one of his seasonal detoxes. I'm on phase 3. I went up there Saturday and got my phase 3. This is the, I think, 6th time that I've done Russell Herbals detox. And when I tell you, man, it's like a whole cellular organ reset. So please support. And then also, you guys did an amazing job last month of supporting one of our flagship brands, and that is Total Package Energy. Total Package Energy saw some bounce back from you guys' support, and we appreciate it. I wanted to make sure I got in here and acknowledged each and every one of you guys who supported Total Package Energy during the month of May. You guys injected some life into my brother's brand. We've been promoting it nearly nine years now. Total Package Energy. Go to totalpackageenergy.com. If you're buying energy drinks and that kind of stuff, you might as well get yours from a Black-owned business out of the Oakland Bay Area, area. I love this brother. He's a good brother. Please continue to show love and support. And then also, Shepherd Sweets, right? Shepherd Sweets is a black sister owned business that does all of the, confectionery arts. And you know what's crazy? I'm starting to see, you guys remember years ago, man, I started promoting Shepherd Sweets. And now I'm starting to see everybody is doing the sweet potato cakes and sweet potato cupcakes. And, she was on that a long time ago. Not to say that she created it, but, I'm definitely starting to see more people experiment with the sweet potato movement after, we have been promoting her sweet potato cake for so long. But we want you guys to continue to support this black-owned business. Like I said, you could do Valentine's, you could do birthdays, you could do weddings, she could do anything, any type of event you guys have planned that requires some kind of cupcake, some type of presentation, some type of, confectionery arts. Please continue to support Shepherd Sweets. I see everybody in here talking about where they chiming in from. Hit that like button. Don't forget, hit that like button before I get into the topics. Listen, there's a couple of ways to support me and this channel. I don't do it often, but now I got to do it. Y'all got to continue to support my books if you haven't read any of those books, right? Amazon.com has, I think, all three of them on there. The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. The Holographic Relationship, Kindle format. And The Shrouded Lighthouse is in Kindle format. So you can go to Amazon.com and get my books in the digital Kindle format if you want to support me. Also, on this channel, and I'd like to shout out everybody that does so, on this channel, you could go to the bottom of the chat. There's a $sign at the bottom of the chat. You can support the super chat by dropping $2 or $3, $5, whatever you got. Or you guys can hit my Cash App directly. Moderators, please assemble. Put my Cash App in the chat. I don't know why my email address is up there, but it's okay. Do you guys have my Cash App? Could you put my Cash App on the screen? Cash App is $ZoWhatNetter. If you guys want to send me some cash directly, go to my Cash App. We'd appreciate it. So there's the super chat at the bottom of the chat. You can support the channel, or you can support it directly by sending it to my Cash App. Listen, let's do this. Let's get right to it. We got stories. Oh, God, we got stories. Can we just talk about Deontay Wilder real quick? Deontay. Some people, I saw a video where people were saying it was fixed. No, it's not fixed. No, it's not fixed. I'm not saying all sports aren't fixed. I'm saying Deontay losing was not fixed. Here's the thing. The probability of someone like Deontay losing a fight is pretty fair. And the reason why, if you're watching boxing, if you understand boxing, you understand that there's a particular skill set. When we see guys like Floyd Mayweather kind of had no weaknesses, kind of like a Michael Jordan. Somebody said Deontay. Got you. Thank you for the correction. Deontay. Wow. And then, people come in and try to tear him down. He wasn't an accidental champion. Number one, if you got 40 knockouts, that's not by accident. Okay? It's not by accident. But I wanted to show the whole article and where that was from. That's just the caption of the article. But he's not an accidental champion. But here's the thing. No real fundamentals, footwork, defense, setting traps, None of that. Just he got a right hand that has, the thunderbolt of Zeus in it. If he catch you with the right hand, he's the living embodiment of what the industry calls having a puncher's chance. Okay? And when you say, like the conspiracy theorists don't use logic, a lot of them don't. When you say it's rigged and it's set up, the rig is in, or the setup is in for the fighter or for the team that nobody thinks can lose. See, we know Dante can lose. He lost his last fight. He lost his fight, the second fight with the second and third fight with the Gypsy King. We know he can lose. So what's the purpose of rigging a fight with somebody we already know can lose because they have lost? Right? What they were ultimately trying to do was set up the super fight with Anthony Joshua. Okay? Listen, have you ever seen somebody with a glass jaw get tapped on a glass jaw? It don't take a lot. And I'm not saying Dante has a glass jaw. However, if you've lost your last few fights by getting pummeled, you understand what I'm saying? By getting knocked out, so to speak. Yeah. You're susceptible to that happening again, especially if the skill set doesn't heighten. The movement, head movement, I really wish he would have took Floyd Mayweather up on his offer to train him. Because I would have loved to see a guy with that athleticism, with that height, with that reach, with that power, with that right hand, with some of the ring savvy that Floyd Mayweather has. Now, I don't know how long Floyd would have to train him in order for him to be able to break some bad habits and recondition the way that he fights. But here's the thing. You can't just keep getting in there and losing the dudes that really you should be beating. The Gypsy King exposed him really in terms of skill set. Tyson Fury exposed him. And that's all right. The brother's made a lot of money. He can take care of his family. I'm proud of the brother. But if you want to, if he wants to do boxing, man, he's really got to get with somebody that's going to teach him, that's going to deconstruct everything he thinks he knows. And I've always said one of the worst things you can do is win while doing the wrong thing. You understand what I'm saying? If you win when you're doing the wrong thing, you really feel like you don't have anything to work on because what you're doing works. So you think, okay, this will work. No. Sean Marion had one of the ugliest jump shots in the world, but it went in every now and again. So I guess he figured he didn't have to change it. And speaking of boxing, let me shift over to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Mike got ill. Man, I told y'all, Mike is too old to be fighting this dude. That doesn't mean Mike isn't still explosive. That doesn't mean if Mike don't catch this dude, Mike can't sleep him. Doesn't mean any of that. I don't want to see a 58, 60-year-old Mike in the damn ring against a 29, 30-year-old man. I don't want to see that. And I'm not saying Tyson can't hurt the guy. I'm not saying, but I don't want to see Tyson get hurt. And I think a lot of times these Jake Pauls, no disrespect, they're using our legends to siphon off of their greatness, to stand on their shoulders. Nobody cares about Jake Paul. No disrespect, maybe some wrestling fans and, no disrespect, but really, Mike Tyson is the legend here. Mike Tyson doesn't need this fight. Jake Paul needs this fight. Him and his brother have been calling out, different, calling out Canelo. Like, why would Canelo, what? But I did hear Antonio Tarver said he would take. Now, that's a real fighter. And he's a little younger. That's a real fighter. We already know these guys have been picking guys that they know that they can beat, MMA guys who are not real. I mean, they're strikers, but they're not boxer puncher guys. So if you put an MMA guy and say you can't get on the ground, you can't grapple, you can't do the things that you do, it's a different sport. You understand? So you getting guys to come in, and those guys are over the hill. You get somebody like an Antonio Tarver, but even then, they're building their name off the backs of legends. And I really felt like Tyson had nothing to prove and needs not prove anything. Just, don't get in the ring, brother. Just call that off. I hope. Listen, and I don't want to see Mike Tyson get hurt. How about that? Man, that would piss me off if this white guy can have a Chuck Wepner moment. Is that his name? I know his last name was Wepner. I don't know if his first name was Chuck. But Wepner was a guy called the Bleeder. And he was just a regular white man. I think he was a bouncer at a club. And he got a chance to get in the ring and fight Muhammad Ali. I think his name is Chuck Wepner. He gets a chance to fight Muhammad Ali. Really, you shouldn't even be in the same arena as Muhammad Ali. But because you talking shit, and he was a bouncer, and I guess he worked for the mob or something like that, they were able to get him a fight with Ali. And then at the time, a young actor by the name of Sylvester Stallone is in the damn audience. There go Chuck Wepner getting whipped by Ali. Ali was already done at this point. He shouldn't have been in the damn ring. But you got a young Sylvester Stallone in there. And because Chuck Wepner, who had no skill, had no business being in the damn ring, got a lucky one off and knocked Ali to the ground. Knocked him to the ground. And, Ali was playing up to that point, tagging him whenever he wanted to tag him, dancing, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. It was an exhibition for Ali. He wasn't really tripping. But when that motherfucker knocked Ali to the ground, I think it was with a body shot or something like that, that's when Ali got up and was like, oh, hell no. And when I say Ali got up and started pepper jack cheese in this nigga's face, Ali started going in. But, beat him up real bad, but didn't knock him out cold. But beat him up really bad, outclassed him, the whole 9 yards. But the thing is, who is Chuck Wepner to be in the ring with the greatest of all time? And I asked the same question. Who is Jake Paul to be in the ring with one of the modern day greats of all time? Who is he to be in the ring? Wepner was not a fighter. Some people will argue that Jake Paul is actually a fighter, and maybe he is. Maybe he is. But he went the social media YouTube route, to become a fighter. Is that a ding against him? Maybe not. Maybe not. I just would like to protect one of our greats from any level of embarrassment. If he wins, he was supposed to win. He's fucking Mike Tyson. If he lose, what a disgrace. He lost to this big goofy white boy who has not even a tenth of the talent, not even a tenth of the skill set that this once great fighter had. And I don't want to hear the once great fighter talk. Hold on, y'all. My 70-something-year-old uncle is calling. He don't understand. Like he will call. Everybody hit that like button. Hit that super chat button. Thank you for the super chats that are coming in. What is that? Immaculate? I think that's what it is. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. If you want to support, just go down to the $, which is the super chat at the bottom of the chat. That is our super chat function. If you want to support, please support that way. Or you can hit me directly on my Cash App. My Cash App is ZoWhatNetter. That's $ZoWhatNetter. Please support. Let's get a roll. We got 240 people in here. Damn, if 50 of you guys drop 5 on my Cash App, that would change my day today. Please support. Go there right now. $ZoWhatNetter. Support. So, yes, Mike is ill, had to postpone. I'm happy they postponed. Good look. What's up, good brother?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, man? We live right now. You just walk, just grab the seat and sit on down.
I'm not on the camera, am I?
Not yet.
All right.
We was just talking about this Mike Tyson,
I was peeping.
Jake Paul situation, and I was just saying I hope the fight gets canceled because I don't think Mike should be fighting anymore at 57, 58.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things like you were just saying. Mike really can't win. If he wins, he's supposed to win. If he loses, like you said, it was a disgrace.
It's a disgrace, and I don't want to see that. Now, like I said, I think these white guys it's genius. Their marketing is incredible, but I think they're kind of siphoning off the backs of, these black legends, and I'm just not with that right now. I'm just not with that.
Well, I guess really there's no reason for the boxing to be any different from any other industry, right?
And then there you have it. So listen, you missed the community empowerment segment where you were supposed to come on and promote your business. I promoted this brother maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. My bro has a hat brand, a luxury hat brand.
Yes, sir.
And he's in Arizona. Am I correct?
Correct, in Phoenix.
He's in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's do this real quick. What's the name of the website?
It's strawandwool.com.
Is there a way we can pull that up so people can see this? I remember, do you guys remember we had a bunch of hats in here laid out and Jeff Brown was trying them on and you know what I mean? My brother is still in business, so that to me indicates business has been growing.
Business has been growing. Most
Talk
definitely.
to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And back then, we just started. And so every hat that we sent you then was another brand. We started off just like any other hat store, carrying all the legacy brands, the Stetsons, all the ones that people know about. Mm-hmm. But, shortly into it, we realized that we could do it better than them. So since then, we've been in business since 2020, the end of 2020. The beginning of 21, we set out on the journey to replace every hat that we carry from another brand with our own. So we have been going hard. My favorite quote by Marcus Garvey is by Marcus Garvey: "What man has done, a man can do." So all we've been trying to do is figure out how they did it and doing it on our own. Mm-hmm. And so since then, we are the fastest growing hat brand in the country. And, it's nothing really to be lauded, but maybe a point of reference. I think we're the largest black-owned hat company in the country. So not that we're competing with other black people, but we come in for every dollar that's leaving our community.
Come on, man. Now give them the address. Give them the website, the fit. You guys have a brick and mortar, right?
Yes.
So give them all of that information so people can get out there and support your brand.
Yes, absolutely. So we are having the grand opening of our second location here in Los Angeles on Pico in Mid-City. So it's 5593 West Pico Boulevard. We will be open, right now we're only open on the weekends, Friday through Sunday, 12 to 7 Friday and Saturday, 12 to 5 on Sundays. Once we get our staff trained up and get everybody hired, we'll be open more. But right now, we're just open on the weekends, and next Saturday is going to be our grand opening on the 8th. We're going to have a lot of promotions in stores, some giveaways, dropping some new collections. We just want to make a connection with the community, let people know we here, what we about. We're not just a business. We started off through our nonprofit where we help incubate other small black-owned businesses. This just happens to be one of them that came out of there. Mm-hmm. So, that's the real work. Mm-hmm. This right here is just an example of what everyone else can do coming from where we come from.
Strawandwool.com. And of
5593 West Pico Boulevard. Sorry.
That's all. Hey, that's all right. They trying to get all your information up on the screen. I ain't tripping. So, we got the wool hats. Do you guys have the beaver?
We don't have the beaver yet.
But you working on it.
We're working on it. We're trying to cultivate the audience of people that appreciate the beaver. It's a heavy investment for people not to understand what a beaver is.
Right.
But we're getting there.
Right. Come on, man. The hat got to be waterproof when we step out.
I know. I mean, this is Southern California. We don't rain that much, but I get it. And my apologies. My goal was to bring you one here. But
don't worry.
The same reason I couldn't is the same reason I'm late is because of my wife. It ain't no excuse, but it's there.
She gonna see this. This is on.
I'm gonna replay it if she didn't.
Oh, this is good though, man. I know I'm really appreciative, man, that you guys are still in business. I remember a couple of years ago, I think we were at some Long Beach. Mm-hmm. It was some type of event at Long Beach. That was the last time I saw you.
Yeah, I forget where that was.
Yeah, but it was the college.
Oh yeah. I think the Black History Month at the Long Beach State. Yeah, that's right.
And just to see that you guys are still going, that you guys are still, pushing forward, man. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, man, and I definitely appreciate you for always having a platform and leaving this, this opportunity open for not just myself but for other businesses.
Come on, man.
It's an inspiration to know that not too many people will get in and not only put their foot in the door, but actually push it open for other people coming through and use that platform for true empowerment. So, we definitely appreciate that through the years, all the endeavors that you supported me on.
Come on.
So, you're an example, you're an inspiration, and I appreciate that on top of the knowledge that you dropped.
Because you had the T-shirts, too.
I did have the clothing line, too, yeah. Yeah, I did.
The T-shirts was cold.
Man, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been down with this brother for a minute, and I see his growth and his maturation. Go to strawandwool.com. I want you guys to go there, even if you don't buy anything. It's hundreds of people in here watching right now. Let's just get the traffic on the website going nuts right now. Let's get over there just to look at it. You might find something that you like. Father's Day is coming up. Husbands, dads, fathers, granddads might want a fly hat. This might be the most perfect gift to give. So go support strawandwool.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. My brother, man, I'm glad you was able to make it.
Likewise, man. I appreciate the opportunity. And again, you offering it to me.
Come on, man.
And I'm glad to finally sit. I done watched thousands of hours of you doing this right here. So I'm proud. I'm geeked to be here, bro.
Man, just enjoy the ride, man. We gonna chop it up some more, man. I ain't got nothing to do but talk about this, man.
Yes, sir.
What do you guys think about Donald Trump? And there's a whole lot happening with this Donald Trump situation. Convicted on 34, charges. Do you know how much money this man has made since these charges has come out? White folk done raised some money, like 50 something. I think the latest estimate was 53 or 54 million dollars since the 34 charges came out against him. Now, what's interesting is when I sit down and talk to my political friends, my friends that are political pundits, I'm surrounded by political people. Zoe, how come you're not interested in politics? And, I make the one argument: politics matters most at the local level. So if you live in a city and you know that there's a dirtbag running for an important office, it's important for you to vote, right? You know there's a dirtbag. Like, oh, this guy been crazy this whole time. At the local level, that's where you're going to be affected the most. The national level, not as much. Doesn't mean you won't be affected, but not as much. The local level, your vote has much more power. And you see that mayor, superintendent of schools, police chief, right? These are things you have a direct say in, especially if you can rally people and get them to vote a certain way on the local level. At the highest level, please understand, voting was set up to make the masses feel like they were a part of something. But you got to remember, the original framers of the Constitution and the government wanted a government. Now listen, you had two parties, Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Federalists wanted a strong government that could run everything, that can run every aspect of everybody's lives. You had the Anti-Federalists that were like, no. We don't want to be under anybody's control anymore. We don't want to be under tyranny anymore, like we were under Britain, under Great Britain. We don't want to be under tyranny. So that you have people in the government that purposely created a weak constitution and a weak government so that they can experience the utmost freedom. They've been fighting this battle since the 1700s. Internally, should we create a bank? Well, that isn't mentioned in the Constitution. Well, if you do it, then that's outside of the Constitution. Think about 2000. Let's create the Patriot Act. Nowhere in the Constitution does it support creating a Patriot Act, which by definition, if you're looking at it through the lens of an anti-federalist, hey, that's not supported by the Constitution. If it's not supported by the Constitution, why are we doing it? What are you talking about, Zoe? You got power mongers in the White House right now. Not right now, but for decades. This ain't no different. You say, well, what's going to happen with Trump? Does it really affect us? I'm not saying on the national level there's not going to be something involved, right, that'll affect you. I'm just saying on the local level, you got more power. You see your vote do something. On the national level, you might not. So this is a battle between white people again, and what they got going. Do you know this man could very well become president and turn around and pardon himself?
I love it. I love it. I know if my wife or my partner is watching right now, they said the very first thing that they ask him about is Trump. That's the very last thing that they want anybody to talk to me about, because I'm of the opinion that anybody that has white people fighting amongst each other, I'm for it. To where black people realize that fighting racism wasn't our job. You know, we've been telling everybody about the people that exist and hide in the shadows. You're playing the race card, you're oversensitive. But once Trump hit the office and all the neighbors started putting their flags in the grounds out front or wearing their hats, we like, there they go. That's what we've been telling you about. Now go do your job. So I'm all for it. And if we got a president to go to jail, that's what America needs right now. That's what America deserves right now. That's exactly. There's no reason why America should have anything other than that. A president that goes to jail.
But I take it even further. This is political WWE. This is political wrestling. Wrestling is scripted, so is politics, so is modern day sports. Yep. You see people are coming out now talking about how sports is rigged and scripted and all of this. So what makes you think politics isn't?
Exactly.
You got to have somebody as deplorable as Donald Trump to make someone as maybe some people might believe Joe Biden is inept. A old guy stuttering, stammering, forgetting, shaking ghost hands. But in order to make him look like the viable option or the best option, you got to make the opposition look horrible. Now, Donald Trump has done himself no favors. He's been looking horrible for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying for black folk, does it really matter?
It doesn't. But the question that I'm really not hearing anyone pose is, we've always heard that the president is the most powerful man in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we got somebody who is in the condition that Biden is in, shaking ghost hands, falling down, walking upstairs, then who's running the country? Who's making those decisions? If we put this person up on the pedestal as the person that runs everything, we see that this man can't run his household or even when his bowels move. He can't even dictate that. So who is running the country?
First off, we've always known that the president was a face man.
Mm-hmm.
Only corporations have presidents. The United States is a corporation. It's a business. So you get somebody to come in here and run this business, but you do know that the president is usually subject to the board.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the board? It's Congress, right? Who else? You got the judicial and the legislative, right? Then you have the executive. Those three branches. The executive is his branch or the president's branch. And all three of those branches are supposed to counterbalance one another so each one of them don't have more power than the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's designed to do. But it's run like a business. So that when you say the most powerful man, things have to be checked off. There's what they call it, a system of checks and balances. The three-headed monster: executive, judicial, legislative. That's how the government is set up. So when you say, say Barack Obama could have just went in there and wrote some stuff. Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
The legislative branch could step in, or the judicial branch could step in and go, no, we're not with that, which happened a lot of times. Right? That happened a lot of times. Barack was trying to do something, go, And then what does Barack have that can kind of trump some of that? No pun intended. He has veto power. Right? But even a veto can be overturned. That's your system of government. So when people say the most powerful man and this, that, and the third, you got to understand, this is a corporation. This is a business, and there's checks and balances in that business. And just understand that there's no one man doing it all. And sometimes I even believe that a script is even handed over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the narrative we want to run with. This is what we are going. I do believe that there's a clandestine government.
And I wonder, like I said, I come across times as a Trump supporter. I don't support anything. I support chaos when chaos needs to happen. But
Ra's al Ghul, what's going on?
Right.
The League of Shadows?
I mean, we because when there was the whole Trump versus Clinton, people wanted Clinton. Nobody liked her, but you wanted her just to be safe, to protect status quo. But for black people, status quo ain't never been good. So why are we trying to protect something that we know ain't gonna be good? Let's throw on a little chaos in there. And I notice now that these charges and this, they didn't come hard at him until he announced that he was running again. He's been allowed to live for the past 3 years, but as soon as he said, I'm running, okay, we got to stop him. And I look at it as, prior to Trump, we knew who our enemy was. As soon as he arrived on the scene, we allowed our enemies to tell us who our new enemy was. Ooh. So I'm not going to say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but the enemy of my enemy is just simply my enemy's enemy. And we got to stop adopting the fight. So I just like to sit back and watch the show. I kind of want Trump to win because I love the chaos.
Ooh. But you know what's crazy to me? Why do we vote shame?
Right.
As black folks, we vote shame. A slave was not getting his ass beat just so he could vote. Like, we've been ingrained with this thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, much as our ancestors have gone through and this, that, and the third, and they did that so you can.
Right.
And it's kind of like, is that why they did it?
Is that why you killed him? It's,
don't they still kill us today?
You know, I put up a post a while back. I guess it maybe kind of in poor taste, but it was to make a point. It was, you know, we've seen that sign, that picture before of the black man that got lynched, mm-hmm. and around his sign it said, it was a sign that said this man voted, and I just photoshopped it again and said this man didn't.
So, and then why not a balanced kind of thing? Like, why do we have to vote, and if you don't vote, you get vote shamed for not doing it? Mm-hmm. That's what the I voted sticker is for, mm-hmm. is to proudly show that I'm amongst the ones who voted. Okay, fine. But why can't it be balanced? Why do we have to pledge our allegiance not only to the voting process, but to just one party?
Right.
And then if we look at that party's history, do you know the Democrats was?
Right.
In history?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, I don't know. We used to be Republican, now we Democrat.
Why we anything?
How about
why we anything? I mean, if I hate this whole notion of black people don't vote. I think we've shown that we vote if you give us something to vote for. This whole idea of go vote, okay, the question should be for what? Because we got out and voted for Obama. We get out and vote for the things that we know is important. The making weed legal, I'm pretty sure, I've never seen the numbers, but I'm pretty sure we got out for that. If you give us something to vote for, we vote. So give us something to vote for.
And then when we lose, we attack each other.
Right.
The sisters, black women got out and voted at a 96, 98% rate. And the brothers only came out at 89. Well, goddamn. 89 is pretty goddamn high.
Right.
And 98 is pretty damn high. Why then do we have to turn against each other if it don't go our way? Well, that 11% of brothers, that was the deciding factor. And they let us down again like they did in slavery when they should have whooped masses' ass. Like, all of it gets conflated.
Every time.
Right? I just feel like the whole politics game is really what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said when he called it politricks and tricknology and all of. I really believe all of that is still in play.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's now more stronger than ever because everything is so polarizing. Before it was, you know, we kind of knew what the line was. Mm-hmm. Now that we've actually taken a stand, like you gotta placate to us at some level. You know, we're starting to blur the line, whether I rock with you or I don't, or I may rock with the other side. So now things are so polarizing that when we're sitting back, and I think the power in holding your vote is probably what's going to get us there. It's so polarizing. So now they got to turn it up. I think I heard you mention it a while back. It's like in the Matrix, to where you could be talking to somebody you know and they turn into a Agent Smith on the spot because the programming dictates that they go defend the system. It's not you having a logical reason why you do what you do, but you're not going along with the programming. So therefore, I must shame you.
And then if there is a tangible argument, the tangible argument is, if my vote matters, besides the candidate I vote for, what are you willing to give me for that vote?
Exactly.
So if our people have been disproportionately ravaged, you know, in our history here, shouldn't we barter the vote for either reparations, for either tax-free living, for either free education, right? So there must be some type of barter for the vote if you equate white wealth to black slavery. Because when we start talking about white wealth, right? It's the $135 trillion, $140 trillion in the economy. White people have 90% of that, and this is generational wealth.
Yeah.
So that means 150 years ago, slavery is where you guys got your wealth. You got to think about it. It was in the Carolinas, South Carolina to be exact. The slave trade and cotton went hand in hand. But the cotton that was coming out of the slave trade was the best cotton in the world. So the South is importing cotton to England, to France, to Germany. You see? And that kept the South really unevolved. Because they said, we don't need nothing else but slaves and cotton. So while the North was industrializing, the South was holding on to its culture. The culture of slavery was so important, they didn't want to modernize. So the Northeast modernized. But they had listen, the South and the North both had slavery. It was just two different types. One was chattel slavery of black folk. The other was wage worker slavery of the peasantry in the Northeast. We're going to create factories. You're going to be in these factories from sun up to sundown. Men, women, kids. It wasn't safe. Y'all going to get paid pennies. We're going to rape the women that's in the damn factories. It was basically a form of slavery. It was mechanization. The North chose mechanization. We'll use technology. Whereas the South was like, we'll use niggardry.
Right.
And that's what we
You got the locomotive, we got John Henry.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when the North said enough's enough, we look hypocritical to the world by saying inalienable rights and you know the land of the free, but we're over here enslaving folk. It was, yes, you look hypocritical, but also you understood that the model of human slavery wasn't going to outlast technology.
Right.
Because technology can do things quicker and faster. We got to modernize the society. And that means we got to take your ass too. Not because we love black people, but because technology is going to trump human, the human engine. You see?
And then even when you talking about where that initial wealth came from, that's how the super wealthy, how America became wealthy. But then you look past that to Jim Crow and redlining, the middle class became wealthy from not allowing us to purchase homes in the areas that we're going to build the value. And that's the next level of wealth that we kept out of. So even if you look at reparations and just take slavery out the picture, okay, well, pay us for this then. Pay us for us not being able to generate generational wealth through owning a home and owning a home in the right neighborhood. So it's like you can...
But go vote.
But go vote.
And not only go vote, you're not black if you don't vote for me.
That's crazy.
What's even crazier is that's the best candidate in this race.
And the other one just said, black people, what you got to lose? But that one is worse than a white man telling you, pulling your black card if you don't vote for him. The other one said, hey, y'all already doing bad, what you got to lose? So, I mean, neither one of them are the answer, but we shouldn't be We shouldn't be rooting for either of them.
How come we ain't the answer?
You know?
You got a black-owned hat company.
Mm-hmm.
Every nigga I know running around with a hat on. It's me too.
Mm-hmm.
Why shouldn't all of our hats be purchased from you?
Because we are you. Everything that we've done to build this business is a result of the feedback that we received from our customers. So everything that you see that we make is based on what we've been told is missing in the marketplace and what we've observed. Also, we are heavily involved, with our nonprofit. Downtown Phoenix, we got a whole street of black-owned businesses that either we own or people that work with us own in the busiest part of Phoenix. Mm-hmm. So we don't just do this. This is just a byproduct of the real work, which is empowering the community and showing what can be done. And also, a lot of people don't notice, they don't catch the line, but the hats that we produce, we ingrain them with a little bit of history. So we have hats called like the Seneca Village, the Inkwell, the Gullah, the Geechee. It's meant to, if you don't know what those things are, maybe you'll do a little research to understand why your hat is called the Seneca Village.
Come on.
The Oak Cliff, paying homage in Dallas. So,
come on, man.
So we put a little history just to honor our history here in what we do.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it, man. I love it. So do y'all think he's going to jail?
I wouldn't put nothing past it. But I don't think that'll stop
Is that in the script is what I'm saying. Is he going to go to jail? Are we going to see this man who was the president of the United States of America go to jail?
What's crazy is listening to the news yesterday. It was a story that came on about him, and they said convicted felon Donald Trump. It used to be previous president Donald Trump. Now they introduced him as convicted felon Donald Trump. So if that's an indicator of what's coming next up in the storyline, he may be in jail. I would not be surprised. But how dope would it be if our president is running the country over the payphone, right?
That would be crazy. Phone check.
Right.
Hey, phone check. I got to check on the economy from my cell. Wow.
I would not be surprised.
Everybody in here saying, nope, it won't happen. April Fools, hell nah. Nope. Everybody saying, nah, nope.
But I think that's under the assumption that he's part of writing the script. And I don't think that he is, which is why everybody has come out against them, because up to this point, it doesn't seem like he is part of what they have planned. It seems like ever since he announced his presidency, back in, what was that, like 14, 15 or whatever, the system has come out against them.
Well, you got to remember, most people are not a part of the plan. Everybody's a pawn in the plan,
right?
But not part of the plan. You got to have a small group of people. Too many people, the plan gets out of control.
Right.
Motherfuckers is talking and whispering, pillow talking, tripping, forgetting shit. It's too many people, too many variables.
True.
So I believe that there's a small group of the elite that are putting people in position and letting it play out in the way that they want it to play out.
Oh, absolutely.
So, again, will he go to jail? Maybe. But as you can see, just like with the police officer up in Minnesota who, put his knee on the brother Floyd's neck, Daryl Chauvin, I think that was his name. And you've seen this with numerous white cops that have abused and killed and murdered black folk, a gross overuse of power, misuse of power. You've seen GoFundMe pages pop up for those police officers after doing something heinous like that. You've seen, this person raised $1 million. The people rallied around him. Okay, well, you're seeing the same thing with Donald Trump. He got the 34 charges against him, convicted of those 34, and the money been rolling in. So my question is, that's the thing that makes campaigns move, is money and support. And he gonna keep this bread coming through. And I think when you give somebody like Donald Trump this kind of exposure, you give him gas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this has been one of the greatest spin artists. And that's what politics is, motherfucking theater.
It is.
You got one of the greatest theatrical actors in the world playing president, and I think he gonna get in there and flip this. The victim shit he about to run. Trust me, it's coming. It's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely, and according to him, that's why black people love him, because he getting persecuted.
Somebody in here saying the Supreme Court is going to overturn the verdict. They might. And it might be on some old, for the preservation of the integrity of our judicial system.
Too late.
We cannot allow a former president to be convicted of said crimes. He will be reprimanded, though. There might be some of that going on.
It's so crazy because when you look at, every president is a criminal. Every president is a criminal. They just chose not to address it. They chose not to prosecute. And when you finally do prosecute a president, it's over hiding that you gave a stripper money, hush money. Of all, I mean, that's some Al Capone tax evasion stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure this man has done a lot worse.
Right. And if you can get him on that, how come you couldn't get Clinton on Lewinsky?
Or Biden in Ukraine? I mean, I'm pretty sure these are just the things we know off the top of our head. And we know the iceberg runs real deep, but that's what we choose to focus on. Money paid to a stripper to keep your mouth shut.
Got him.
We're talking about practice.
You talking about practice?
Not murder, practice.
Oh, man, I'm finna shift to my final story of the day, man. I heard about this, and I was like, I hope this isn't true. So, Biggie's mom, Voletta, came out and was like, if she sees Puffy, she would slap him. You know, she was like, I used to like him. I thought he was a good guy. And now, after seeing the video of the Cassie video, she was like, I wanna slap him. My question is, same question for Trump, same question for Diddy. Is Diddy going to jail?
No.
A lot of people think Diddy gonna go to jail.
The only way Diddy goes to jail is if he didn't have those tapes in the cloud somewhere. If Diddy goes to jail, then somehow other tapes gonna get leaked. I think that's why Diddy is prancing around here like he bulletproof, because y'all got the physical tapes, but he act like he don't have an iCloud account or a Dropbox where all of those tapes. And to me, that's what the raise was all about. Some senator, some billionaire somewhere was like, this fool got tapes of me. They probably got wind of it, and they sent him in there to go get the tapes. But I think as long as he got them tapes, he gonna be all right.
So you saying he got leverage against somebody high powered?
Absolutely. I don't think you get to this point if he didn't.
But you know, when the system run down a black man versus how they run down a white man, it's a little different.
It is.
I've never seen the system run down a white man in quite the way they've been after Trump. But it's still civil in comparison to how they run down black folk. Diddy has had, listen, when I tell you Donald Trump getting convicted of 34 cases, listen, Diddy, that was Father's Day. That was Christmas. He was like, they not talking about me today.
Right.
Because the stories keep coming. You see? So when somebody else can take over the news cycle from you getting drugged, shit, that's a vacation. So I think Diddy felt great hearing about this. Somebody said Diddy is joining Russell Simmons. I don't think Diddy can fly right now. I don't know what the law is. I don't know if he's free to fly. Somebody look it up. Can Diddy leave?
I mean, when you got that kind of money, though, I think he could probably fly out with an alias. You got private planes and all that.
Nope.
Nah, I think they got him. We got the ankle monitor on him, huh?
Nope. Listen, you know, everybody be talking this Illuminati shit and certain black people being in the Illuminati and all that. Well, when I had my conversations with Quincy Jones dropped one of the coldest jewels I had ever heard about money. He was like, black folk, get your money. Rappers, get your money. He was like, you rappers, y'all doing the right thing. Go get your money. He said, once you get your money, he said, put your homies on. Because if you get money and your homies stay broke, they're going to rob you. This Quincy Jones. He said, they will rob you if you don't give them jobs. So he says, get your bread. Then once you get your bread, you take care of your family, you do all of that, then you put your homies on. Because your homies are not going to sit back and watch you ascend without them. Mm-hmm. They will turn on you. Then he said, now after you do all of that, he said, go out and see if your money has any power. I said, what the fuck? He said, yeah. He said, because a lot of y'all think if you have money, you have power. And they're two entirely different things. So, you say, Diddy, with that kind of money, your money is now rendered powerless when they shift their focus on your ass. Like, oh, whoever you pissed off in the higher ranks said, turn the faucet of power off. Not the faucet of money. Because listen, if money was power, they wouldn't let niggas have it in their pocket.
There you go.
They'd be like, what? You got $35? No. Nigga, that's against the law. Give me that.
Right.
Quincy said, find out if your money has any power.
That's true. I mean, look at Cosby.
That was about to give you that example.
We selling this for $1 billion. Hey, I got $1 billion. Nah, we good.
Not your money is no good here. Remember,
right.
That was part of the redlining.
Right.
Your money is no good here. Money don't always mean power.
if they not selling what you're trying to buy, powerless. And that's why I said I don't think it's about the money. I think it's about what intel he has. I think they're releasing all of this information on him just to destroy his connection with us. That they know we will ride with our celebrities, off a cliff until, there's a couple of things that you could do for black folk.
Fucking with some kids,
beating on a woman. Yeah. That they know we will cut you off. So now once you lost your support of your base, then it's you up, you game. So, but I do think he probably some of them tapes that they confiscated with some very powerful people on there. And I don't think they got all the copies. Allegedly.
You mean like some Jeffrey Epstein type weirdness?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's him atoning for him paying off Cassie and all this other stuff. That's him atoning for the stuff that they could get him for. And all the rest of the stuff maybe, like I said, it's probably up in the cloud to the point where if you can't get to it, then you may not want to let that genie out the bottle, because at that point, everybody's genie is getting up out the bottle. Wow. To me.
No. Hey. This is very interesting how all of this is turning out. And then while the Trump stuff is going on, this is why I feel funny about the Diddy situation, because I feel like even though Trump is happening and he is dominating the news cycle, you're still getting stories that are coming out about Diddy. So you would think he would get somewhat of a respite, somewhat of a reprieve. But no. Just came out. Sean Diddy Combs was jealous of the Notorious B.I.G.'s friendship with Tupac Shakur, who had no respect for the mogul. So I guess Tupac didn't respect Sean. Sean was jealous of the two Geminis, of course, Tupac and Biggie. It says Sean Diddy Combs was reportedly fond of Tupac and wanted to befriend him. A former colleague says Combs was jealous of Shakur's friendship with the Notorious B.I.G., Combs' allegedly abusive behavior is the subject of a new Rolling Stone report. This is People Mag. People. You know, from our generation, you don't get on People magazine unless you pop it.
Man, how crazy is this? And they already put out, who is it, TMZ, to make that documentary that's already on Amazon or whatever. What good does it do these people to jump on this bandwagon without any kind of guilty verdict? Usually you don't get this kind of treatment of People magazine and Rolling Stone and documentaries being made until you're convicted. I mean, it took how long for them to make a Kevin Spacey documentary that just came out? I think
I ain't even heard of the Kevin Spacey documentary.
Yeah, it's on I think it's called like Kevin Spacey Uncensored or something like that. And it goes through the years of all the actors that he worked with. He worked with them just to, get what he wanted from them. And from what I understood, a lot of his accusers, ended up, unaliving at some point somehow. So his didn't really go too far. But like I said, usually you don't get this kind of Epstein treatment until a conviction or a death. But they going full court press on Diddy right now. So back to the script. I think the script is going to dictate something. I mean, that apology video did look like he was in a bamboo hut, so he might be over there with Russell Simmons right now.
A bamboo hut. He might be there, may not.
And what's crazy is I don't like to. I've always said the media and the judicial system do not need help convicting a black man. So typically when people start pouring on with the he say, she say, I'm like, go on with all that. My wife showed me the video, the hotel video. I'm like, we can't see who that is. And then they showed the close-up. I'm like, well, there's that. So, I'm not going to defend them, not Diddy anymore, but usually when they're trying to publicly shame black people or just turn people against them, I don't participate until you show me something. But, the judicial system and the media don't need our help in tearing black people down. But in this case, I think he's indefensible at this point.
Indefensible. I hear you. It's getting ugly. It's getting really ugly. Let me just do this really quickly. Listen, if you want to support this black-owned business that we have up here today, we feature in Straw and Wool. Go to strawandwool.com. It's 400 people in the chat right now. Can I get 50 people to go to my Cash App right now? Go to my Cash App and drop a 5 spot. Do it right now. Only 50 people out of the 400 that's in here. Drop $5 on my Cash App. Can you put my Cash App up? It's $ZoWhatNetter. Go show your support right now. Go show your support for strawandwool.com. My brother is in the building. Black-owned business. Expanding into Los Angeles. Has a brick and mortar already pre-existing in Phoenix. It's a small part of a larger nonprofit organization that he and his wife have going on. Very proud of this brother. Very proud of the work that he's putting in. But don't forget to support your brother Zoe Williams. Go to $ZoWhatNetter. That's my Cash App. $ZoWhatNetter and support a lot of people in here. Let's get back to the conversation. Let me just say this real quick about Tupac, the Biggie, and all of that. Because I feel like they're about to rope Diddy into all of this. Maybe Diddy is the perfect fall guy for all of this. Maybe he actually did all of this. The Biggie situation, I hope. Jesus. I hope not. Hey, thank you, Jasari. We appreciate it for the Cash App. Thank you. I see him coming in. If I see your Cash App come in, I'm going to shout you out. Also, all of these artists that are talking about they didn't get paid from Mace and all of these guys, Black Rob, all of these, everybody is just like, he did us dirty. What I wanted to acknowledge, man. Thank you, brother.
I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, man. Thank you. What I acknowledged from this thing is that, and this is going to hurt, narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's traits of narcissism on Diddy. Now, I don't know if he's clinically diagnosed. And yes, a lot of people are correct. A lot of people misuse the term narcissism. A lot of people misuse that term. Oh, no, he's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. But they really don't understand what that means. Thank you, Holly M. Parker. They really don't understand what that means. There's NPD. Thank you, Colby. There's NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder. And then there's narcissistic traits or tendencies. And everybody has narcissistic traits and tendencies. So just because you have a few narcissistic traits or tendencies does not necessarily make you a narcissist. But when you look at the body of work, I should say, and people talking about Puffy and the way he talks about himself, remember, narcissism is about self-aggrandizement. So you have grandiose narcissism. Then you have a much more subtle version called covert narcissism. And you can be diagnosed for these, right? Thank you, Ken. And then narcissistic tendencies is just this kind of put yourself first, kind of selfish bent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen, in the way he's behaved, maybe, do you think Puffy might be a narcissist?
I'm assuming anybody that's a billionaire or close to it has at least a level of any of that. But
would you say Prince was a narcissist?
Yeah,
I would.
I would say so. He changed his name and all that. Yeah. I mean, that was all about self-identity. But I go back. You know, this is a hindsight 2020. Mm-hmm. Would we have said that before all this stuff came out?
No, we would have tolerated it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says sociopath. Then there's the sociopath, psychopath dynamic. But I believe Hollywood creates sociopaths, narcissists, and psychopaths. I believe that. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is, I've only seen one artist, and he might have been a goddamn sociopath, psychopath too. But I've only seen one artist that said, it's about the fans. They make me who I am. Mm-hmm. And you know who that was? That was Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. But Michael Jackson might be a goddamn narcissist.
I think his face lends to it.
But I mean, just on what the criteria of a narcissist is. Mm-hmm. So when you see Mike, he got the cameras on him and he's like putting his hand in front. Hey, don't film me. Mm-hmm. I don't like the angle. I was like, hey, do you understand? That's different. Yeah. You know, Prince, notorious asshole.
But what does a big artist that doesn't have a level of narcissism look like?
That's what I'm saying. I think this industry, because it's fame based. Mm-hmm. Remember, Narcissus was the Greek mythology where the boy looked into the river and saw his reflection. Mm-hmm. I think in fame, you get to see the reflection of your talent from the appreciation of the audience.
Yeah.
So, and I think that builds your narcissistic tendency. If it was latent, it gets to be aggrandized when you become a star. That's why a lot of people who might not be narcissistic have a hard time transitioning. This is why you'll hear somebody like Andre 3000 is like,
right.
It's not crack. Being a celebrity and fame, it's not all it's cracked up to be. People are trying to escape from it,
right?
Because they're not inherently narcissistic, and I think the people who are lean into that reflection. Mm-hmm. You know,
it's hard to get a true gauge because when you look at like Andre 3000, like that's the perfect example of someone who attained a level of success but still drew back. Mm-hmm. But when you look at people that maybe have reached the level that Diddy has reached, but we see a different outcome, somebody like a Dr. Dre or a Jay-Z, on the surface, we don't see the same type of behavior. Mm-hmm. And like just to have a point of reference. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean it didn't go on because we didn't see all of this stuff that everybody is talking about right now. Mm-hmm. What we saw was just stardom. We found out everything that went on behind it, which is what has us looking at him like a narcissist. Mm-hmm. So like right now, Jay-Z doesn't appear to be a narcissist to me. But if a bunch of stories start getting leaked, Does
That's
he get
what I'm
that same
saying,
label?
man. There's a lot of brothers out there talking about Jag. They like Jaguar Wright is out here talking about Jag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he's worse than Diddy. I'm like,
I don't see it.
but why is it our fault?
Right.
And then at the same time, I can't really shut her down because she was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like,
You know, I question how I felt like after the whole Cat Williams interview, which seems like it kicked off damn near everything.
it kicked off the whole shit.
It was entertaining, but after a minute, you know, the conscious side of me was like, why is this entertaining? You know, the fact that we always come at each other,
Right.
and I had to really sit and think if I was okay with it.
Right.
And then I eventually came to the conclusion that I am okay with it, because it goes back to the skin folk and kinfolk.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at you and see a reflection of myself in you and who you are, then I'm going to assume that we have a lot in common. But if I find out that you violated the basic tenets of what it is to be part of us, to get there, then you're no longer part of us, and I'm putting my trust and money into somebody that will quickly sell me out. So I'm okay with people getting torn down if by getting there and staying there are a lot of victims that look like us in your path,
Right.
and you no longer deserve the benefit of being one of us.
That should be it. This is why contrition, remorse, all of that shit has to come from a soul level
Mm-hmm.
and not from a PR level. This is why a lot of people had, difficulty with Diddy's apology, because it was kind of like a strategic move. The video come out, you got to say something. Hey, bro, you got to do something. You can't just sit back and let this tornado, this shit storm just keep rip. So you got to say something.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So again, in our community, remorse, contrition, forgiveness, and I'm talking about amongst each other.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not talking. We'll forgive white folk.
Mm-hmm.
White folk signing checks are forgiven.
Yep.
Black folk that are broke, they will not be forgiven.
Ever.
Ever.
Even if it comes out that you're not even guilty what they're accusing you of.
Ever.
Just the fact that them folks said you did it, even though we proved that you didn't. Mike ain't never been able to live that down. He ain't never got convicted of nothing.
And when you, it's seeing that we shifted to Mike, in the music industry, man, the real estate is the publishing.
Yeah.
So if you factor in Mike's real estate before he died, music real estate, how in the fuck could he only have $600,000 in his bank account? How could he be strapped for money?
Mm-hmm.
And he had the largest chunk of publishing real estate in the game.
More than a label.
I mean, what? Sony ATV publishing, 800,000 records at the time of his death? Making $1 billion a year?
Not talking about little artists either. He owned the publishing to the largest artists.
Michael Jackson was giving publishing away as birthday gifts. Little Richard, I know them motherfuckers robbed you. Here's your publishing back.
Right.
What?
That's dangerous.
That's dangerous. You giving back 40 acres and a mule, basically.
That you created. I'm giving you back your creation. I'm giving you back a piece of your soul that you shared with the world.
Here's your 40 acres and a mule, bro.
Right.
That's gangster.
That's dangerous.
Now, the flip side of the coin is Prince. He telling motherfuckers, I'm not going to do a motherfucking record with you unless you own your publishing. That's what he told Nas.
Wow.
Nas was
Really?
like, yo, let's do a record together. He was like, do you own your publishing?
Hey, that's
That's
that
like,
is-
do you rent or do you own?
right. Who you with?
Who you with?
If you show up in my house, who sent you? Why you got MC Search running around talking about your publishing feeds his family? I love that.
Hey, Floyd Donald, they not coming back. They got their own thing. You can always go check them out, bro. They my bros. I love them brothers, man. They doing their thing, Floyd. You should check them out. Jeff Brown, he's got something going on. I forgot. He just sent it to me too. But he's got something powerful going on. You should check him out. And then of course, the homeboy Kev, he got fly shit going on. Y'all should always check them out. But like I said, Prince and Mike, they understood the real estate in the game. And now, fast forward to 2024, Kendrick and Drake beefing. This, I don't know who this dude is, and I don't know how reputable or credible he is, but he basically said Drake got one of the largest record deals in the business.
That's what I heard.
$400 million.
Mm-hmm.
But it's technically a 360 deal.
Right. And if you hear Kendrick, it's for life.
So you sell your publishing, which is your real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You sell merchandise, TV. That's a 360 deal is inclusive of any deal contract you get into.
Right.
So here's the bag. I'm gonna give you $400 million up front, but you're selling everything else. That is the reverse of Mike.
Right. Most artists.
And so if you calling yourself the new Michael Jackson, Mike would have never taken that deal. Mike was like this. The motherfucker who owned Pretty Woman, Roy Orbison, his publishing is for sale? Huh. Let me go grab that. Oh, Eminem is talking shit about me? Let me back channel and find out who owns Eminem's publishing and buy it.
He did that?
He did that. What the fuck? Like, that is the power move.
Yeah, you buying every place that you land on the Monopoly board. You buying it.
Come on, man. Come on.
Wow.
Then, so who does Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman? Who remakes it?
Can't remember.
Oh, just one of the largest rock groups in the world. Van Halen. Who gets paid for that? Michael Jackson.
Man.
What the fuck?
He get eaten on both ends.
So, forever. So when he died, they were talking about selling his estate was talking about selling it. You know, his stake, you know, in Sony ATV. And they said the estimate was $40 billion. Billion. But when they finally sell it, they sell it for $795 million.
With no residuals or anything, just straight up. Huh?
And sold it back to the parent company, Sony.
Man.
Who have been trying to wrestle it from his ass ever since they recognized, oh shit, this motherfucker done backdoored us. He done slipped into the side door, and now he's got real estate.
The plan worked. It's devastating, but at this point, I just got to come to accept that everything is backwards now. Like I've told people a while back, in a generation, the Kardashians gonna be black and the Jacksons gonna be white. The Kardashians gonna own everything, and the Jacksons ain't gonna own nothing.
Man, that's gonna piss me off. Hey, Michael Lewis, thank you, man, for the Cash App. Thank you, guys. Oh, you guys do know, tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Voice of Reason returns to KBLA Talk 1580. You guys already know, man, I'm on my Voice of Reason. I'm in my Voice of Reason bag, I should say. You guys should tap in. We appreciate the Cash Apps that we got. We got about 5. We appreciate it, though. Thank you. We got nearly 400 people in here, but only 5 people hit that Cash App, and he was one of them, my brother. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, but yo, continue to support the channel, and let's get back into this final story we have here. Michael Jackson, man, Jesus Christ. Oh, here it is right here. Sorry. Now, I needed to hear about this. It's going to be interesting. Ice-T mocks Lenny Kravitz over 9 years celibacy revelation. Now, I don't believe Ice-T actually mocked him. Apparently, he did. I don't know. But people don't understand about that semen retention. That's a powerful thing. I would suggest people go get the book, The Tao of Sexology by Stephen Chang. The Tao of Sexology talks about semen retention. Especially when you get to a certain age, you start busting off a lot. You're going to lose some of your vital, what the Orient, the Asian people called chi. You're going to lose. Thank you, Richard Harper, for the Cash App. You're going to lose that vital chi, which is power. This is where you hear Qigong, you hear Tai Chi. This is what the Hindu would call prana, which is life force. You know, you lose a lot of that through the ejaculation of semen. And I think Lenny Kravitz is on to something with regards to celibacy. But there's different, celibacy is on a spectrum. You can have sex and not bust off. But I'm going to tell you right now, sisters, women don't like it when you don't bust off.
I wouldn't either.
You can get them to bust off. Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, okay, your turn. Nah, I got you. We cool. Did you get yours?
Right.
You good?
Yeah.
They be like, nigga, what's wrong with you?
Kind of hurt their ego a little bit.
It's not. I mean, I read that book in the 90s. Mm. And when I tell you, it's a bar. Just get the book. Mm-hmm. It's a bar. Hey, listen, man, give them one more time where they can find you, where they can support you. I'm going to get up out of here early today. Just tell them how they support, how they follow, Instagram, websites, whatever you got, bro. Please.
Yes, sir. So strawandwool.com that you see on the screen right now. That's our website, 24/7. We got the illest collection that you're going to find online or in store. We're downtown Phoenix at 610 East Roosevelt. That's in downtown Phoenix. Open 7 days a week there. Or our grand opening for here in Los Angeles is going to be next Saturday at 10 o'clock, 10 to 7. Mm-hmm. And there we're open 5 to 7. No, I'm sorry. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The grand opening.
Like Father's Day.
Father's Day, yep. So we've got the grand opening this weekend, and the weekend after that, we're going to have some Father's Day specials. So open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday there, and that is 5593 West Pico Boulevard. If you know where My Two Cents is, the restaurant,
yep,
we right next to them. That's how we got there. That's my favorite restaurant. So we right in the same shopping center as them, 5593 West Pico, right next to My Two Cents.
I'm gonna have to come through, man. Father's Day weekend, I'm gonna tap in.
Yeah,
be on deck.
No doubt. Okay.
You gotta support. What the hell?
Sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for tapping in. You've been watching the Zoe What Morning Show. Listen, I'm getting those He Is Risen orders from last week shipped out this week, Wednesday. I'm shipping them out Wednesday, okay? We appreciate everybody for your love, for your support. Hey, there's another Cash App. Who is this? Gail Lowe. Let me just shout out some people real quick. Let me shout out some folk real quick. Richard Harper, Gail Lowe, Ken, William Terry, Colby Dossie, Holly M. Parker, Straw Wool, my brother, Jasiri, For appreciate you, brother. Brian Smalls. We appreciate everybody for showing their love, for just being here, being down with what we do. Tonight, KBLA Talk 1580, I'm going to have another slapper. When I tell you, let me just give y'all something real quick. I haven't shared this, but let me do this real quick. Let me share this with y'all. So KBLA, the podcast is on fire. I'm talking about mine in particular, Voice of Reason. 90,000 downloads for the month of May on one platform. That's Apple Podcasts. 90,000 downloads. And we have a 58% usage rate, which means 58% of the people, over 50,000 people, actually opened it after they downloaded and listened. So that's a high number. That's a great number. And we are still growing and we are still pushing. Tavis Smiley has given me an opportunity to take my relationship talk platform to his radio platform, and it's jumping off. If you haven't downloaded the KBLA Talk 1580 app, please do it right now. The conversations are revolutionary. If you've been following me since the Foxhole days, RMC days, Dash Radio days, T Radio V days, and now KBLA days, I'm going to tell you right now, this KBLA iteration of the Voice of Reason is the most informed and the most refined version of the preceding version. So trust me, I keep growing, I keep learning. You want to tap in and hear that. And then also, I want to shout out everybody on this channel. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. We're at 74,000 subscribers, damn near 20 million views, 19.5 million views, 1.1 million likes, 1 million comments, and over 250,000 shares, 235,000 shares. So we appreciate all of you guys for jumping in here, showing your love, showing your appreciation. Nothing but love from me to y'all. And I'm up out of here. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Deuces.